How do I feel about being single? You want the truth? The truth? Like the real truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? If I could be single for the rest of my life, would I be? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you guys saw by the title, today's video is going to be all about singleness. I'm actually going to be doing a 3-part series. So this is going to be part 1, where I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a backstory. Yes, the tea, that my journey of singleness. It hasn't always been like great. There's definitely been some dips in the road, but it's okay because it's led me to where I am now. And I believe that now I have just lots of wisdom to share just about the joys of being single. I feel like, sometimes, or at least for me growing up, it can seem like, oh, being single is a bad thing. Being single is the less than thing than, being in a relationship or being married. And as a 28-year-old woman, I've now realized that is not the case, that it couldn't be further from the case. And so I just hope that this video will inspire you, that if you're struggling with being single, you're just like, why is nobody asking me out on a date? That this video will just like close the door on any lies and help you just to meditate on what's true about you and what's true about this season of just embracing yourself. Like I said, this is going to be a 3-part series. This is going to be part 1, a little bit of a backstory on my life and being single and just what I've been through and where I'm at now, and just 3 really main points today that I'll share with you guys about why I love being single. And stay tuned for the next 2 parts of the series where I'll share a little bit more. But yeah, if you guys haven't already subscribed, please do. If at the end of this video you like this video, please give it a like, please give it a thumbs up. But yeah, I hope you guys get comfortable, grab a cup of coffee, water, tea. This is gonna be like a chit chat video. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and let's just get it started. All right, guys, so my story of singleness, gosh, where do I begin? Well, I guess it's fair to begin with my very first love, my introduction to love, and just what I thought my life would look like at a very young age. I fell in love with this guy at 14 years old. Sorry, my camera cut out there. So yeah, like I was saying, at 14 years old, I fell in love with this guy, like head over heels, thought he was the one, thought I was gonna marry him. And yeah, he was my first boyfriend, my first love, my first everything. And we dated very shortly. And then he ended up moving away to a different state that was all the way across the country. And it didn't end for me. It never ended for me. This is starting to sound like a romantic movie that we've all seen before, but for him, I guess somewhere in the middle, it ended for him. And I was very devoted to this guy. Like, I saw my whole future with him. Like, we're gonna get married, we're gonna have kids. And so we dated super shortly, and then he moved to a different state that was across country. And so at that point, we broke up, and it became like a long distance relationship, if you will. It was very complicated, pretty toxic, I'm not gonna lie, but let's just say it lasted, the situation, for about 7 years. Just of me still being in love with him, thinking that he was the one. I mean, it was crazy. Like, yes, I did talk to other guys in the meantime, but my heart was like set on him. Like, I knew at the end of the day I was gonna be with him, even though there was so much distance between us. I was like, one day that distance is not gonna be there, and we're gonna be together, and it's gonna be amazing. I'm just gonna try and tell you guys like how deep this love was. Like, I would like write songs about this guy. I would write in my diary about him. I'd write poems about him. Like, it was just really, really all about him until I was about in college, maybe like second or third year of college. And I was like, still very much in love with this guy. So, without talking, too much about him, personally, I wrote him a letter just confessing like how much I loved him and how much, I couldn't wait for us to be together. Just basically like, I don't want to wait anymore. Like, I know we're long distance, but let's just try to make it work. Let's be together. Even though at the time we were just friends, but we would still communicate with that like sense of like, every time you come back in town, we're, together. Like, it never really, ended. Until I wrote him that letter, and it was given to him by my mom. And I was expecting like a call, I was expecting a text, didn't get anything. No response. After 7 years of thinking that this person was the one for me, to not get a response back from that letter, it was so tragic. And that was my first experience of love. And, I really, really, really loved that guy. And so for it to end the way that it did, even though, like I said, it had already been over, but my hope and my, deep down wishes was that we would still be something in the future. And I realized that that wasn't the case. So got over that guy. And like I said, I would, talk to guys and have situations throughout those 7 years. Like, it wasn't just talking to him. And then, I would get into situationships where, I would start talking to a guy, start liking a guy, just cross boundaries with a guy that I really had no business crossing boundaries with. And then, it would always end in heartbreak. And you would think that I would learn, but I wasn't learning, because deep down there was this vacancy in my heart that actually, I now know in hindsight, started from a very young age. My parents, my lovely mother and father, they, were married when I was born, and they were together for about 5 years. Before they got a divorce when I was 3 years old. And, I don't remember all too well those first couple of years of my life, but I know for a fact, because of me and my dad's relationship now, that me and my dad's relationship back then was like this. Like, we were super close. And then it was like, all of a sudden he was gone. All of a sudden he wasn't in the house. All of a sudden it was just like me, my mom, and my brother, but like something was different. Someone was missing. And I think that stuck with me throughout my, adolescent years and throughout my teenage years and college years, was that this guy is supposed to come and make me feel loved and make me feel whole and make me feel enough. And when that doesn't happen, something's wrong with me. So there I would go in college, thinking that a guy liked me, liking a guy, and then it would just kind of like crumble in my face. And it was a very hard lesson to learn. I remember one time I absolutely loved this guy, and he told me in college that, that I was wifey material, but that he didn't want to be with me at the time. Even though we had, crossed lots of boundaries and we're acting like boyfriend and girlfriend, he was just like, you're like wifey. Like, I don't want to be, married now. So like, now's not the time for us. And then I remember it ended, and shortly after, probably it ended at the end of the school year. And then by summer classes, he had a girlfriend. And I remember seeing him like walking across the patio holding hands with the girl, and I was just like, dagger, like what? And this situation kind of would reoccur. Like, I would like a guy, and then I would just face this like huge rejection. And I've shared before on my channel my testimony of how I got saved after freshman year of college. If you haven't watched that video, please watch it next, how I got saved after my freshman year of college. But basically, I gave my life to God after freshman year of college and started to, change and transform my life. God did. But one relationship that I did have in college was with a guy that, was a Christian man. And I also thought that this guy was the one for me. I thought that this was the guy that I was going to marry. And I had to realize that he wasn't. And once again, I had to deal with that broken feeling of, man, this isn't the guy, again, my heart has to go through this again. And it was again that crushing and that disappointing feeling. And I went through such a low season in between kind of the end of that relationship and coming out of it, because my identity was so tied to this idea that I need to be in a relationship. And I felt like I wasn't good enough. I wasn't measuring up. There was something wrong with me. I had placed so much value, so much worth into being in a relationship. I didn't find that same value or worth in myself. And, the thoughts of, I'm not enough for this person, I'm not chosen, I'm not wanted, those became more real to me than, God's word and his scripture and what he said about me. And it took a lot, because I remember, I don't think it was depression, but it was a lot of crying and a lot of leaning on my friends and being like, I'm sad again about being single. It was, I would say, from the relationship that, I thought was for me, ending when I was about, 22 years old, to about, I would say 26, 27 years old, really 27 years old. So 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 4.5, maybe 5 years of just, why isn't this happening for me? Why am I single? It was a really, really big deal. And I would find myself in a lot of dark moments with God, why? And a lot of it, I'm sure, stemmed from, that, why did my dad have to leave? Why did my support system have to go? Why did my foundation have to be so rocked drastically at such a young age? And I guess I went through those following years trying to figure out, why, and trying to find the answer in this guy and trying to find the answer in this relationship. And when it was nope, it was so frustrating. It was so frustrating. I went through a very emotional season in my singleness those years. And when it really shifted and changed for me was in 2019. So 2 years ago, I went through a program at my church called School of Leadership. At the end of it, I got prayed for. The pastor who prayed for me talked about how that my emotions had just experienced just shock, and that because of what I had been through at such a young age, that just that my emotions needed healing. And so from that day, when I got that prayer, things really did start to get better, as well as going through therapy. Going through therapy helped a lot. Talking about, everything with my therapist helped tremendously. And so this is 2019 we're talking. And that's really when things started to get better. Yeah, I'm just thinking about it. it was really hard. And I just encourage anyone that if you might be going through a really hard time right now, it can get better and it will get better. It was definitely through that prayer that pastor prayed for me and therapy, but also just praying to God and asking God to help me. It was a really long and drawn out season of praying and crying about this topic, but I believe that where I'm at now, where I have so much peace and I have so much joy, and I feel like I have a lot of wisdom now in regards to singleness, but also not placing your worth and your value in men and not needing to be validated by any guy or any person. And also wisdom on sometimes it's really not a romantic relationship that you're craving, but it's unfinished business with things that, you know, went on when you were a child, unfinished business with like traumatic experiences that you still need healing from. And so instead of placing that, you know, frustration or that disappointment onto the current circumstance of, oh, I'm single, you can really get really raw and honest with yourself and be like, well, maybe there's another reason that I'm unhappy about this. Maybe there's other unfinished business going on in my heart that I need to deal with, that I'm just saying it's like it's because I'm single, but there's really something deeper going on. So yeah, that kind of brings me to where I am now, 2020 and 2021. It has been the best years of my life emotionally, because of just being healed and knowing who I am. And so I want to share 3 reasons why I love being single and why you should love being single if you're single. And so reason number 1 why I love being single is because it's such a discovery season where you literally get to discover who you are. And it's kind of easy. This is the easy season. I remember being in a previous situation, relationship, whatever you want to call it, and just feeling like my emotions were so involved. And like it requires a lot. And your emotions are in it, and that takes a toll on you after a while. And so to be single and to not have to worry about a relationship or what, you know, what's going on in like, you know, that area of your life, it's so freeing. Like you literally only have to worry about yourself, like your goals, your dreams, like your aspirations. You get to do whatever you want to do. Like you kind of get to be selfish. It's really like a light season. Now it's kind of like you're on a journey and you're carrying one person. And then when you get into a relationship, it's gonna be like you're carrying 2 people. And then when you have kids, you're like, you're carrying 3 people. So this is the light season. This is the, oh my gosh, I can move, I can fly, like I can do whatever I wanna do. Enjoy it, discover who you are, discover what you love. Right now I'm taking guitar lessons. It's been so fun and so amazing. I've just been enjoying my friendships. I've been traveling. I've been hanging out with my mom. Like, do not let the world or the enemy or yourself tell you that this season is less than. Honestly, I feel like if there was a panel of 20 people that were married sitting in front of you and you were in front of them, they would be telling you the same thing, like enjoy your season, enjoy this time. And if there's something going on in your heart that's not allowing you to enjoy it, take it to God. It's not necessarily the fact that you're single. It could be something deeper. It could be some unfinished business that is really brewing inside of you that is like begging for like answers. God, why this? Why that? And take it to him and allow him to heal you. It does seem like we're on like a time frame, but like I just want to like throw away that time frame. Like God is the author of time. Who else in the world gets to say that there's a time frame for what we are meant to have in life? Like if God doesn't give it to you right now, that's your time frame, and let that be it. Let that be enough. Don't compare your life to someone else's and be like, their life is better because they got that spouse and that kid in an earlier time. Than like, God is doing something special in your life. God is doing something unique in your life. Don't for a second believe the lie that, oh, you're supposed to be married, and because you're not doing well enough in life. That's not true. Like, you have to remember the truth, and the truth is singleness is a gift. Singleness is something to aspire to have, to be free and to not have those things to worry about yet is a blessing. Okay, so that's enough on number one. Number two reason why I enjoy being single is because it just means that God's not done yet. It means that God has something more to do in you and in your guys' relationship that he hasn't done yet. And that's exciting. That is so cool. So I can wake up every day and be like, God, what is it that you want to do through my singleness? Like, singleness is a time when God just gets to use me. One day God's going to use me and my husband, and then years after that God's going to use me and my family, including my children. But right now it's all about me. Right now it's all about single. It's all about Brittany, and that's enough. Like, single you is enough. Like, you don't need to be hooked up with someone romantically in order for you to have worth and value. You don't need to be hooked up with someone in order for you to matter. You matter to God. You matter to God. You matter to God. That is enough. And that is the truth. And you got to hold on to that. Hold on to that for dear life. If God says you're enough all by yourself, you got to believe it. So yeah, get excited about that. God has a purpose and a plan just for you. Don't bypass yourself and be like, oh, I want to get to the purpose of me and my husband. Don't shortchange yourself. God has placed gifts inside of you. God has placed talents inside of you. God has placed purpose and calling and destiny inside of you. And he wants it to come out in your singleness. He doesn't want it to come out in your marriage. In your marriage, it's going to look a little different. But he has a great idea for your singleness right now. Get excited. What does that look like? Ask God, ask the Holy Spirit. What does it look like? You are so creative, God, and you have something so beautiful for my singleness planned. What does it look like? Like, let's show up for it today. Let's show up for it, God. Like, oh, it's so cool, and it's such an opportunity. Don't let the enemy make you believe that you just gotta wait until you're in a relationship. Like, no. God is not limited to you being married to do something incredible in your life. And there are so many benefits to being single that you just need to embrace, because there are going to be benefits to being in a relationship, but there are serious benefits to being single. Pray and ask God, God, when am I not seeing? God, help me to experience more. God, show me the benefits of singleness. I'm here for it, God. It's such a cool thing. And then the third reason why I love being single is because you get to give. Unlimited. Like, you get to give as much as you want, whenever you want, to whoever you want. One day when I'm married and when I have kids, I'm not gonna be able to give as much, especially not my time. Right now I have lots of time to give to friends, time to give to family. I'm single. Like, I have all of this time. I get to be a blessing on YouTube. Like, I get to really serve people with my time. I don't have to work and do all of these things for a family right now. Like, it's just me. And so I have time to give. I have time to be a blessing. And that's amazing. So there are some really cool blessings in being single. Like, don't overlook it. Don't overthink it. Like, it is a blessing to be single. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, there's gonna be 2 more parts to this series of singleness. I shared a little bit about my testimony and the reasons why I love being single. In the next video, I will be talking a little bit more about the benefits of being single, and I'll be sharing just some scripture to back up what I'm talking about. But yeah, guys, it's a blessing and you need to embrace it. Like, no more time wasted thinking that being single isn't cool. Being single is cool. Being single is awesome. Being single is an opportunity. In singleness, you can grow so much. So don't neglect yourself. Don't neglect your goals. God has something super amazing planned for you in your singleness and in this season. Don't let it miss you. Don't let it pass you by. You're here for a reason, and God's doing something amazing in your life. So be encouraged, guys. I hope you like this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with a friend if they need to be blessed or encouraged. Okay? See you guys in my next video. Bye.